Good afternoon, groovy citizens, and happy winning Wednesday. So, you guys, I just have to say this up front before I jump into today's topic. I am not feeling my best. I really am not. I started feeling yesterday like I was catching a cold. And so I took me some Corsetin, and when I tell you I was knocked out last night, honey, I was knocked out. I did not wake up until I got up this morning when my alarm went off. And then I got up this morning. I've just been having a hard time functioning today. I don't feel like eating anything, although I know I need to eat because I haven't eaten anything since breakfast. So I have to figure out what am I going to eat, because like I said, I just don't feel like eating anything. I've been drinking plenty of fluids and staying hydrated, so that's good. But yeah, we're gonna get through this day. We are. So I said at first I wasn't gonna do this video. I said, no, Michelle, because today is called Winning Wednesday for a reason, because we're always gonna be winning. And because I wake up every morning, including this morning, telling myself that today is going to be an amazing day no matter what. So it is going to be an amazing day, even though I don't feel good. It's so funny, because I was telling my dad, I said, Dad, I feel like warmed over crap. And I'm not even sure what that feels like. But that's just something that people have always said. But that whatever it feels like, that's how I feel right now. But this too shall pass. Now, also, before I jump into today's topic, I do want to say that I'm excited because this evening at 7 o'clock, I am going to be attending our small group Circle of Champions class. It's virtual, so I'm excited about that, and so that's why I'm going to hold off taking my next set of medication until after that, after we're finished with that, because I know if I take it now, it's going to be a wrap, okay? And I don't want to miss that, because if you're a part of Circle of Champions, then you know Bob and Annetta have some awesome topics and great ideas for helping people grow their business and all that good thing. Plus, you guys, I almost forgot, I did get a chance while I was out of town to update my presentation for becoming a confident speaker. I have and there's I think that, including that topic, there's like 5 all total in that series. So I am going to take the time to go through and update everything in that series, because I do want to hit the ground running with becoming a confident speaker series, and I just know it's going to be amazing. So anyway, I'll tell you more about that once we get a little closer with it. So today's topic is focus on yourself. Focus on yourself. Now, I know what you're thinking. Well, Michelle, what do you mean focus on myself? I do that all the time. When I say focus on yourself, I mean really focus on you. Focus on what it is that you want to do. Focus on getting to the next level in your life, whatever area that you want to get to. Focus on that. Too often, I believe that we spend too much time focusing on what other people are doing. And what that does is, well, let me say this. It can do one of two things. It can either motivate you or it can discourage you. And that's why I want to really push focusing on yourself. See, because when you sit and focus on what Judy and Bob are doing and how everything that they're doing is going great, forgetting that you don't see the behind the scenes, the stuff that they have to go through behind the scenes, or had to go through behind the scenes to get that business or that project up and running, you start to think, your mind starts to talk to you and say, well, you're never going to be like Bob. You're never going to be like Margaret. You can't do that. You don't have this. You don't have that. You don't have the other. And guess what? You don't need this, that, or the other. All you need is what you bring to the table. And if you focus on you, more on you and less on others, you can get there. So today's quote that I'm going to share with you is by none other than Bishop T.D. Jakes. And honey, this is phenomenal. It is packed with so many great nuggets. And as always, I'll unpack as we go along. So he says, we do have a purpose. Sometimes my handwriting is the worst. Oh, we do have a purpose. We may not be perfect people. We may not have perfect situations, but we are still significant nonetheless, and we have been blessed with a rich body of emotions. Can I say that one more time? Because that should have shouted you right there. We do have a purpose. You have a purpose. I have a purpose. We have a purpose. But too often in life, people don't know what their purpose is. Do you know how many times I've asked somebody, what is your purpose? And they usually go, huh? Or they'll say, my purpose. What do you mean, my purpose? My purpose for what? What is your purpose in life? What did God send you here for? More times than not, people have no idea. They go, you know what? I don't know. I really don't know. Or they'll say, you know, I've never thought about that. Or I've thought about it, but I really have no idea what my purpose in life is. And that's sad. That is so sad to go through life not knowing what your purpose is. So, excuse me, I just want you to know that we have a purpose. Whether you know what yours is or not, you do have a purpose. We're not perfect people. We're not. We say things that we shouldn't say. We think things that we shouldn't think. But we're not perfect people, and nor is God asking us to be perfect people. So if you feel like you can't get to the next level because you have not mastered the art of watching what comes out of your mouth or watching your thoughts, honey, you will never get to where you want to be, because we're not perfect people. God did not call us to be perfect people. He knows that we have many imperfections about us, and that's just life. Now, I'm not saying practice those imperfections, but we do. None of us are perfect. I won't lie, I got smart with the lady this morning at McDonald's because she kept calling my number, 251. I said, I'm right here. I said, I'm getting my sweet teas, and I'll be over there because I got a tea for myself and for my mom. And she said, okay. A few seconds later, 251. I said, yes, I heard you the first time. Still getting my tea. I'll be over there in just a second. Just leave the bag on the counter. Okay. Third time. I said, now look, damn it. Don't say 251 again. I heard you the first two times. I said, I'm getting my tea. I will be there. And I said some other things, but I've already repented for those, so I'm not going to say them again. But you get what I'm saying. We're not perfect people. Could I have handled that situation a lot better? I probably could have. But because I don't feel well, and I had taken my cold medicine this morning, I just was not in a place where I wanted to worry about her feelings or anybody else's at that point. But I'm thankful that God does not say, Michelle, I can't bless you because you cursed at the lady that worked at McDonald's. I'm thankful that God does not look at our imperfections and decide that he's not going to bless us, decide that he's not going to give us the things that we need and or desire. So you're not a perfect person, and he doesn't expect you to be. And let's see, okay, so he says, we're not like roses or plants or bushes that have life without feeling. We have feelings, and when we use them properly, they are very effective in motivating you toward your destiny. He says, I want you to be clear and understanding that purpose and passion are interconnected. Do you understand? And I wanted to make sure I drove that point home. See that highlighted in pink? Yes, purpose and passion, they live like this. You can't have purpose without passion. They live together. He says, we live in a fast-paced world, and we live in a crazy world where we're busy all the time. We're losing touch with who we are, our inner sense of passion. But it is your passion that empowers you to be able to do that thing that you were created to do. Do you understand that? I mean, do you all really, really understand that? Your passion is what gives you the power to do the thing that you were created to do. Oftentimes, people will say to you, well, what makes you so special that you should be doing this? Baby, you tell them it's your passion. It's that gift that God gave you. That's what makes you the specials that you are in whatever that area is that God has called you to be in. He says, I hear you. You're saying, I don't feel a thing. Well, all of us go through times that we don't feel anything at all. But in order to ignite passion again, you have to be exposed. Get out of the boat, Peter. Walk on the water. Go do something you've never done before. Get involved, get connected, because when you're exposed, you see there are more options than your contemporary situation at any age. That's the good news about it. At any age. Did y'all hear what I say? So I know oftentimes, and it's so funny because guess what? We used to be the younger people, but oftentimes younger people will say, oh, well, they're too old to do this and they're too old to do that. They're too old to do the other. No, baby. At any age, you can become exposed to the things that God has called you to do. You can be exposed to great ideas, to new and big adventures. It's not about an age thing. So stop thinking that just because you're in your teens or in your 20s that only God has called you to do great things. No, he's called people in their 30s, their 40s, their 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, and probably even into their 90s as well. But I digress. He says at any age, you can still ignite your passion through finding your, you can still ignite your purpose through finding your passion. Let me put a pin right there because I told you all before that Colonel Sanders in his 60s came up with the idea of KFC. And guess what? That's why we have thriving KFCs all over the world. And everybody likes to go for their chicken. Okay? So if he had said, well, I'm in my 60s, so maybe it's too late for me to, to think about having a franchise. Maybe I should just stop because I should have did this in my 30s or my 40s. No. God he ignited his purpose through finding his passion. And that's why we have what we have today. And I believe he's long since been deceased. And he's not the only one. There are so many others that have come before him that did not allow their age to dictate whether or not they were going to live out their passion. He says, what you think is working against you is actually working for you. That'll shout you right there. Let me say it one more time. What you think is working against you. Think in your mind, close your eyes, and I want you to think about whatever that thing or those things are that you think are working against you or that you know are working against you. T.D. Jakes says, know that they're actually working for you. See, when you think that it's working against you because you don't have that job, you don't live in that house, you don't drive that car, you don't hang out in a certain group with people anymore, that it's working against you. No, sweetie, it's working for you. Because now you've been left open to do and create so many wonderful things. But had you still been tied with those things that you no longer have, or you never would have been able to get where you want to be. He said, there's a lot of things that you could take from me and I could make it. He says, you could take my suit. I got another one. You could take my car. I could get another one. You could take my house. I could get another house. He says, but when you take my time, you have taken something from me that is totally irreplaceable. Again, that's another shouting moment for you. But let me repeat that. He says, but when you take my time, you have taken something from me that is totally irreplaceable. Do you know pretty much everything in this world that you're going to lose or have lost, you can get it back? Again, if your car's been ever repossessed, then you've been able, and you're driving now, guess what? You were able to get a new car. If you've ever had your home foreclosed on, or maybe you got evicted or you had to move, you're living someplace now, guess what? God provided you with another home. If you lost some friends along the way, God has given you new ones. But your time, your time is very, very valuable. So I want to encourage you to get rid of time wasters. Doesn't matter who it is or what it is, get rid of time wasters. Anything that is taking your time away from what you should be doing over here, but that those time wasters are pulling you over here, you got to get rid of this. That's got to go. If you have, like I said, people, places, and things, it doesn't matter. Anything that's causing you to use time that you need to be focusing on your goals and focusing on your dreams, if it's pulling you away from that stuff, honey, you need to get rid of it. I mean, get rid of it fast, because it serves no purpose in your life. He says, if you are doing anything that somebody else in your life could do, you are not reserving yourself for your highest and best use. So if you have, let's say you have a business, right? And part of your business is to send out basic emails. you could actually get somebody. Now, it's probably going to cost you some money, because there are services that you can hire that will do that kind of stuff for you. Or maybe you know somebody in your family. Maybe you have a college student that could use the extra money. Pay that person, pay him or her, and say, listen, I want you every 2 weeks or every week, or however you send out your newsletters to your email list. I need you to send this out. Now, it's all right for you to create it, but let somebody else do the sending out. That way you can utilize the time that you would be sending out and following up on stuff to be creating more new stuff. So we've got to learn to stop wasting our time doing things that we could get somebody else to do. Now, I get it if you're just starting out and you don't have the money and you can't afford to pay somebody. I completely understand that. But maybe you can find somebody that would be willing to do it for free for you, just to help you out. And maybe you can in turn do something for them to, kind of offset that. However you have to do it, stop wasting your time doing those menial things that are important, but they're things that you could also get somebody else to do for you, is all I'm trying to tell you. He says, we are not using our life, our time, our energy for our highest and best use. Something in the back of your brain is telling you that you're missing your life, your purpose, your passion, your excitement, your enthusiasm. And then he goes on to say, every moment is a gift. Let me say that. Every moment is a gift. Every second is a gift. Every thought is a gift. Every idea is a gift. Every opportunity is a gift. Everybody you meet is a gift. You are gifted with opportunities. And here's the thing, you guys. Hopefully my AC is not too loud, but it's 86 degrees. I just realized that I can hear it, so you probably can too. But going back to what I was just sharing with you, everything that you have or that's given to you is a gift. And I'm going to say this also. If you treat those things as a gift, you are more likely to cherish them and take better care of them. Case in point, he says every moment, every second, every thought is a gift. If you think of it that way, you will be careful how you spend your time, how you use your time, how you follow up and follow through with the thoughts that God gives you, because they're a gift. And you say, okay, this is a gift from God, so I want to take care of it. You know how somebody gives you, I don't know about you, but I cherish every gift I get. Doesn't matter how big or small it is. But when somebody that's really near and dear and close to my heart gives me a gift, I cherish it. I truly, truly, truly cherish it. That's just like, perfect example. This squirrel, I think he's from the Ice Age Disney movie. But this squirrel right here, he had a acorn. I'm not sure what happened to it. But my nephews, my twin nephews gave me that when they were babies. And here now, they are, oh God, they just graduated high school and way taller than me. Okay, this is back when I was picking them up. But they gave me this Ice Age squirrel, and I've kept it all these years. You know why? Because this gift was important to me. They saw fit to give this to Aunt Shell, and Aunt Shell cherishes those gifts, especially when they come from people that mean a lot to me. I love my babies. They're gonna always be my babies. I don't care how old they get or how tall they get. They're gonna always be my babies. And this meant a lot to them to give it to me. And so I cherish it, and it stays in my car, okay? And I think they gave me, I don't remember what movie he's from, but I believe they gave me this one as well. But I said all that to say that when you think of your life, your time, your ideas, your goals, your dreams, your passions as gifts given to you by God, you are going to treat them so much better than you do right now. I want you to keep that in the forefront of your mind, because I don't want you to let that get away from you. Because I want you to keep that in a place that's very near and dear to your heart, to say, hey, you know what? I was given these gifts. I was given these talents. So I'm going to do something with it. I want God, I don't know about you all, but I always want God to be pleased with me, pleased in the things I say and that I do, the places I go, all of that good stuff. So I want to utilize the gifts that he's given me to do something great with it. So not only is he pleased, but I'm pleased, and the people that I service are pleased as well. He says people will define you by how they meet you. Always remember that. People, excuse me, people will always define you by how they meet you. That's one of the wonderful things about God that I love. God can meet us at the worst times in our lives. God has met some folks in crack houses. God has met some folks in tent cities, under underpasses, sleeping in their cars, sleeping on the subway, sleeping on a park bench. But God does not define you by any of that. Man will. Man will define you by how they meet you. That's powerful. Whether it may be a girlfriend, a mother, a banker, or whatever it is, they put a period behind that thing. So what he's saying is that people define you by how they met you. Oh, you know, I met Myrtle Jean and she was a prostitute, period. That's it. They're not talking about how Myrtle Jean has gone on with her life and she's doing great things now. They met Myrtle Jean being a prostitute, period, end of sentence. Oh, honey, but I am so thankful that God does not put a period where man does. See, God says, okay, I met Myrtle Jean being a prostitute, comma. Now I've turned her life around and she's living her life for me. Man will never give you that, but God will. He says, but if you have the capacity to do more, turn that period into a comma. He says, I tell people, don't let people put a period where God has put a comma. Explore all of your life, no matter how diverse it is. There are some people, who have more capacity and they can handle more things. And there are other people who have to focus on one thing and do one thing well. You have to determine which one are you and be that. If you are the kind of person that you can only focus on one thing at a time, be good at that. If you're like myself and others who can focus on a couple of things, now I'm not trying to take on too many, but I can take on a couple of projects at one time and focus on those, then be that. Be the best you can be. Doesn't matter which category you fall in. Just be the best at it. He says a lot of people don't know how to get over the past. This right here I want you to think about. A lot of people don't know how to get over the past and they don't know how to forgive. They confuse forgiving with forgetting. You don't have to forget it to forgive it. And that ought to shout you right there. So when you think of your past, when you think of the lies that people told on you, the stories that people made up about you, the way people treated you, I want you to forgive it. Don't forget it, but I want you to forgive those people. Because as long as you hold on to that, it's going to be hard for you to move on. So forgive them, let it go and move on. Never forget though, but forget it and move on. See, because here's the problem. When you forget those things, you tend to fall back into old habits. So that's why I tell people now, the older I've gotten, and I think this started back in my 30s, I became that person, well, mid-30s, I became that person where I could say, you know what? I forgive you for what you did or what you said. Now, I'm not going to forget it, but I forgive you. See, because if I forget it, then I'll be apt to falling back into hanging out with you, not remembering the ugly things that you said and did behind my back. You know what I'm saying? So he says they also need to realize that forgiveness is a gift you give yourself. So while you're forgiving other people, I need you to focus on you and start forgiving yourself. Some of you can't forgive yourself for something that happened 10, 15, 20, 30 years ago. I want you to forgive yourself and move on from it. I didn't say forget it necessarily. I said, but forgive yourself and move on. Because here's the thing, as long as you don't forgive yourself, you become stuck. And you cannot get out of this stinking thinking is what I like to call it, because you won't forgive yourself. Everybody around you has forgiven you. Everybody. God forgave you first, but everybody around you forgave you, but you have a hard time forgiving yourself. So while you out here forgiving other people, start thinking, remembering to forgive yourself. He says they also need to realize that, oh, wait a minute. It doesn't mean that the person or persons weren't wrong. It just means that I'm not going to be tied to what they did the rest of my life. And again, this whole quote was by Bishop T.D. Jakes. It'd be in the description box. So that was the other thing I was going to share with you. When you can't, don't, or won't forgive people, you now become tied for the rest of your life by what they did or what they said. Because it's like a ball and chain that you're constantly dragging behind you everywhere you go. I don't know about you, but it's enough for me to drag my own self around sometimes, especially today since I don't feel the best. But I can't even imagine walking through life dragging this ball and chain behind me because I refuse to let it go. No, let that stuff go. Forgive them, forgive yourself, honey, and move on. God has got something better out there for you. But again, I'm going to do this because I love doing it. But when you walk around with your hands clasped together like this, holding on to things from the past, old hurts, old whatever, your hands are tied up. They can't receive the new gifts that God wants to give you. Why? Because they're tied up. But look at this. As soon as I let it go, my hands are now open to receive that which God wants to give me now. Too many of you are living in the past. And this is why you can't move on in the future, because you're still living in the past. Let that go. Let it go. So today's topic was about focusing on yourself. And as I leave you, I just want to encourage each of you, as you begin to focus on yourself, like I said, get out your journal. If you don't have one, get one. But I want you to start writing down in your journal things that are important to you, things that you want to accomplish. And here's an even better way to think about it. So we're now in the second half of the year, right? And we are in, hold on, April, May, June, July, August. We're in the third quarter of the year. So from now until the end of the year, what I really want you to do is write down your goals, your dreams, your desires, your passions, your to-dos, whatever you want to call it. Write those things down in your journal. And then as you write those things down, underneath of each one of those topics, I want you to put 3 sub things that you need to do in order to complete that task. I really need you to do this, you guys, because what I don't want you to do is get to the end of the year and you go, wow, I spent a lot of time helping this person do this and that person do that and the other person doing something else, but you never got around to your own dreams. Excuse me, you never got around to thinking about what it is that you want to do. So can you all promise me that you're going to do that? That you're going to sit and start focusing on you and start, let me see, understanding that your purpose and your passion are interconnected. Start to remember that what you think is working against you is actually, in fact, working for you. So stop thinking of it as a negative. And then when you and remember also what Steve Harvey said, that not Steve, but Bishop T.D. Jakes said, that a lot of things can be taken away from you and it's no big deal because you can get another one. Okay? But when you allow people to take your time, they're taking something away from you that you cannot, that's irreplaceable. If you got up today and you allow people to waste your time, you can't get that back. Now, tomorrow will have its own set of time for you, because at midnight you now have a whole nother 24 hours in a day and tomorrow. So if you wasted it today, let it go. Don't beat yourself over the head with it. What do we talk about? Forgiving yourself. Just know that for tomorrow, you're not going to allow anything or anyone to waste your time. And be about the business of getting done the things that you need to do. Can I just tell you all, before I came out here to do this video, I actually wrote down in my to-do list. I have to show it to you all. I bought these to-do sheets from Happy Planner a few months ago, and I had forgot about using them, and I just came across them. I think it was yesterday, or maybe it was last week, but anyway, I remembered I had them, and so I actually sat down and started writing down the things that I know I need to do tomorrow to make tomorrow a better day for me, plus to get me closer to my goals. And so I just want you all to do that. Get in your journals, you guys, and start writing this stuff down. Because if you don't start taking care or focusing on yourself, you are going to get to the end of your life and you're going to look back and say, wow, I had time to do A, B, C, X, Y, Z, but I was so busy doing everything else that I never got around to doing it. And now I'm at the end of my life, so I don't have the time now that I used to have. I don't want that to be you. I certainly don't want it to be me. So I don't want it to be you either. Start to focus on yourself. Stop allowing people to use up your time and your energy that you can be using on things that's going to benefit you. Remember also that every moment, every second is a gift. Every thought that you received is a gift. Every idea, every opportunity, everybody that you meet, they are gifts. And I need you to treat them as such. I need you to take those gifts and I want you to make sure that you hold them near and dear to you. Cherish them. Do something with them so that you can make the gift giver as happy for you as those people around you are. And then also remember that if you have the capacity to do more, then turn your period into a comma, because we talked about how man will define you how they met you, and they'll put a period after that thing. Oh, but God always puts a comma. So let no man or woman put a comma, a period rather, where God has put a comma. You can say, hey, you know what? I once was down and out in my life. I had nothing. I was going nowhere, comma, but now, come on somebody, fill in the blank, but now, and go from there. And then last but not least, remember that you don't have to forget whatever that thing is that happened to you, but you do have to forgive, okay? You don't have to forget, but you do have to forgive. Y'all, that's it. That's my time. Thank you so much for giving me just a little bit of your time to speak life into you. And hopefully something that I said resonates with you. I'm sorry this video was a little longer than I had planned on it being, but there was just so much I needed to unpack in this one little, excuse me, quote that I shared with you. But I want you to go out there, enjoy the rest of your day. And if you're new to watching my videos, I want to say welcome. Thank you so much for joining me. My hope and my prayer is that on Friday, I'll feel so much better. Because if you can see my face, I'm struggling to keep my eyes open. That's just how drained of my energy I feel right now. And my eyes keep watering up. And my nose is running, y'all. So I need to go in here and see what I can take for that. That's not going to necessarily make me sleepy. Because like I told you, I have a Zoom training that I want to be on at 7 o'clock. But what was I saying? Yeah, if you're new to watching my videos and you have not subscribed to my channel, what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button, tap that bell. And tap that bell, hit the like button, because it helps my channel out so much in terms of the algorithm and how my video is shared out to other people. So please, please, please do that for me. Whether you're new, returning, or whatever, hit the subscribe button, tap that bell so you're notified when I put up new videos, and hit the thumbs up button to help my video with the algorithm of getting it out there to the masses, because that is my ultimate goal. If this is not your first rodeo, welcome back. Y'all know I miss you and I don't get a chance to see you. Again, go out there, enjoy the rest of your day, have a great evening, and just be safe. No matter what you do, be safe, have fun, but be safe. And don't forget to focus on yourself. Also, I didn't say this, but when I say focus on yourself, I'm not saying don't care about the rest of the world. I'm not saying that at all. But I do want you to make time where you can focus on you. Focus on your dreams, your goals. Focus on you. Stop putting your focus on everything and everybody else and putting yourself last. Because guess what? The rest of the world's not going to do that. The rest of the world's going to focus on them. Then they're going to take care of you. So I want you to include yourself in that equation. So y'all know the drill, you know the spiel. I love you all to the moon and back, and there's nothing, and I mean absolutely nothing that you can ever do about it that will never, ever, ever change. Again, go out there, enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll talk again on Friday. Until then, take care.